If you feel like you're not progressing in Greek right now and you're feeling like you're stuck, then know that you are not alone. There's plenty of people that are exactly in your shoes, and from my experience, there's one very strong reason why that happens. My name is Yorgos, I'm a Greek teacher and I'm the founder of a Greek learning community with over 2,000 Greek students. And in my experience, there's one reason that outranks every other reason as to why students are stuck with Greek. And in this video, we're going to see exactly this. Now, before I get into the number one reason why people are feeling stuck with Greek, I am assuming that you are being very consistent with your efforts and you're really taking your time to study. Because without this, then everything else fails. If you are not taking the time to study, then even if you have the best teacher, even if you have the best method, even if you have the best laptop or the best equipment, it is not going to get you into being conversational in Greek. So I'm assuming here that you're actually putting in the effort, because without this, we cannot achieve anything. Now, since we got that out of the way, the number one reason by far why people are feeling stuck and not progressing in Greek is because they're using the wrong method. Or maybe their teacher is using the wrong method as well. Personally, as a Greek teacher, I have tried everything. I've been through so many different books, I've tried so many different methods, and after years of research, I have finally found something that brings the best results to my students. And I'm going to show you this method in this video. The method that I follow fundamentally has to do with two things. Number one is a very specific way of looking at the vocabulary, and number two is progressively introducing the grammar, which is the skeleton of the language. Let's start with number one, the vocabulary. What many teachers do, and many books do as well, is that they give you the vocabulary just like that for you to decipher. But in this way, it's really hard to make it stick. Personally, what I really try to do, after I give my students the vocabulary, because I do that as well, I try to break down words into parts, because in this way, the words stick better to the student's mind. For example, let's take the word for why in Greek, and that is yati. I'm not just going to give it like that. This is the word for why, and it is yati. I'm also going to say that yati is comprised of two words. It's comprised of the word ya, which translates to for in English, and also the word ti, which translates to what in English. So basically we have two words for what, ya, ti, which directly connects to the meaning of why, which is this whole word as one. Because when we're saying why, in a way we're saying for what reason. So this is an example that makes students remember that word way better. Another thing that I like to do is that I like to draw a lot of connections with the English language. Most of my students are English speakers, so by drawing connection with something that they know already, which is English, it makes the words way easier to remember. For example, in English we have the word agoraphobia. Agoraphobia is the fear of crowded or public spaces. Agoraphobia is a word that is built on Greek parts. Agora in Greek is I agora, and that means the market. And phobia is coming from the Greek word which is o phobos, and that means the fear. Now from agora, which is the market in Greek, we can get the word agorazo, which means I buy. So by introducing agoraphobia first, make students remember agorazo way more efficiently. This is just an example, but I have dozens and dozens of examples of how words are connecting to English. Now let's go into the grammar. What most teachers do, but also many books out there do the same, is that they give you a table of, let's say, verb endings in the present tense, and they tell you to memorize it. Maybe they have a few exercises right at the bottom of the table, and they tell you, go do the exercises, figure out the endings, and in this way, eventually the table will stick. In my experience, I have found a way that works 10 times better into making the grammar stick in your brain. What I like to do with my students is that I introduce, for example, one verb ending, We practice it a bunch of times and then we move on to another verb ending. And we practice that a bunch of times as well. So I'm not just giving you a table just like that. I'm giving you one point of grammar, we practice it and we learn it, and then we move on to another point of grammar. And in this way, through a long enough time horizon, we will have introduced the entire Greek grammar in a step-by-step way while practicing every point before we move on. So if you're a student that is getting a bit overwhelmed by the Greek grammar, don't lose hope. If you have a table in front of you, just pick one verb ending or one piece of grammar, try and practice it a bunch of times, learn it really well, and then move on to the next point of grammar. So take this method and use it properly. I guarantee you that it works. No matter the student, no matter the level, no matter the age as well. If you do want to join my free Greek learning community, you can find the link in the description down below. Over there, I have a beginner's course which is meant to help you speak your first real Greek sentences in just 7 days. And also, of course, I host weekly speaking lessons. So if you're interested in that, I will see you inside the community. Ευχαριστώ for watching the video and ta λέμε in the next one.